Welcome to our It's Electra series.
In this series, we're going to share with you gear based on and inspired by the Electra Distortion circuit.
Join us on this journey where we get the most tone out of the least circuit. Today we're looking at the Gross Distortion by Joe Gore. We're going to break it down for you.
Right. And I have to break this one down. We did talk to Joe in the beginning of the series. He's a great guy. Had a lot of insight. Talked to me a lot about why the Electra Distortion is such a great pedal to build. Like for the do-it-yourselfer. Gave some ideas. That might actually be an episode down the road from now. We haven't even really talked about that too much. You're looking at me
He's got to edit it so he can say whatever he wants.
We're going to do what? Pat's going to build a pedal. Maybe. So anyway, this is, oh my gosh, this is like the mother of all Electra Distortion pedals. Mm-hmm. So if you go and you look at the copy that he has on the website for it, and from the series, you should know, like, we're talking about a transistor with two diodes. And so there's minimal parts here. So as people kind of, quote, tune these, and that's what, builder would say, I'm tuning it. Mm-hmm. They're picking the diodes they're using, picking the transistors they're using, and stuff like that. There's some pedal builders out there, Love Pedal, for instance, that has a whole line of Electra Distortion-based pedals where he's gone in and tuned them differently and used different diodes and stuff. So Joe was like, what happens if I just put all the diodes in to one pedal and let you pick which ones you use? Mm-hmm. We'll talk more about that in a minute. So we thought we're going to break this one into kind of sections. Let's start with, like, it was just, like, none of this is here. We'll cover that up. None of that's there. We're just going to look at the four knobs. We have gain, bass, treble, and level, and an on-off switch. Start with that. Mm-hmm. So
I'm going to go through Strat in the 2 position through the Tyler PT22, JT22. I always get that backwards. I don't know how. Like this. With the Dispatch Master. Little amp reverb.
So, more
shaping ability
than any Electra Distortion pedal we've looked at.
Right.
So, pulling a tone pod out is not unheard of, but pulling it out and then separating it into treble and bass, you don't see very often.
Right.
And so, there is discussion out there, like, when you start doing that, when you start pulling all these things out and separating them, are you taking away from what is really kind of the beauty of the circuit?
And the beauty.
Yeah. Right. I'm going to say it doesn't sound like it with this pedal.
Right.
Right. This pedal sounds great. People are like, they always say that. Yeah, because we get pedals that sound great. If they don't sound great, we don't get them. Can I say that? Let's jump up to the top.
Okay.
So the idea behind the Gross Distortion was, what if I put 12 diodes on one side and 12 diodes on the other side and then let you mix and match them? And that would be 12 and 12 would be a gross. And then for some reason, it's not. And I'm not 100% sure why.
Because you're a scientist and not a mathematician.
Right.
And I'm neither.
So I don't know if it's because of what diodes are in what positions in there, but for some reason it's not. I think on his webpage it says there's like 78 different variations. And then you have this little +1 switch up here, which adds an extra diode.
Just for fun.
Which would make... I don't want to get... I'm not sure where it adds that extra diode. I'm not sure if it puts 2 on one side and 1 on the other, and that makes it more asymmetrical. But I imagine if you're mixing and matching, you would have times where you have maybe symmetrical clipping. You maybe luck into one, and other times where you don't. So I'm not going to try and get into the why it's that way. Just this is what's going on. So why don't you play the way it is, and we'll flip that switch up just so we can hear what that does. I might turn a couple of these knobs a little bit too while you're playing before we do that.
All right. There's a lot of flavors in there. So
Right.
It's beyond Baskin Robbins. There's more than 31.
So the reason it's at G and 9 right now is because when we recorded the bumper for this series, I played that pedal with my PRS. And we were just turning, like, what sounds good? Click, 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 click. I actually think this, I mean, what a great pedal, cool pedal this would be maybe like in a studio situation.
Sure. Right.
Right? Because there is so many different sounds that you could, like, if you were looking for something, it'd be a great, like, anyway. Should we get into it?
Yeah, how does it play well with others?
Right. So on my phone, I've gone to Google, and I pulled up the random number. You type in random number generator, and it gives you a random number generator that looks kind of like that. And I'm just going to hit generate, and it gives me the number 3. So I'm going to take this to number 3.
That's really cute. So then I had to go to the other side, and I had to figure out a way to randomize 12 letters. And I think I found the Vanna White approved wheel here, where I go like this.
Show off.
I'm always the peacock of the operation here.
Is it Jay? That's Jay. Now, I think it's worth saying that some of these are going to sound super close. It's like the difference between 12 and 1205. Some are going to sound much different. Right. Let's hope with our random number generators we get some that sound different. I'll let you play a little bit. We'll flip the +1 switch and... That was a huge difference.
It was very much a huge difference.
I mean, overall, and then you click up the +1, and it was a huge difference. All right.
Let's do it again.
Let's do it again.
Because I get the better part.
Generate 6.
Wheel. Oh. Whoa, took a picture of it. Look at that. Just for posterity's sake. Yeah. Remove choice. Let's go again because the amp loves it. You can hear the amp loves it.
That's probably peeking the B.
Will that be a better choice?
All right, here we go.
All right. I guess I'll play the same thing. Why not?
about you, but I like when you click that plus
I
one.
know, it makes it totally different.
And I feel like that one sounded a lot different.
It did.
Should we one more time, and then whatever... Why don't you do the letter one more time, and then I'll just hit random numbers as you play. We'll flip through some random numbers. Do the letter, because that takes longer.
Yeah, and it's more exciting. No whammies. Come on. Daddy needs some new shoes.
H.
H for hard clipping.
All right, so I'll let you play, and then I'm just going to move the number around.
All right. Yeah, there's so many options in there. I mean...
And then another question, because we often talk about with Electra Distortion circuits, is they sound really great going into another pedal or having another pedal go into them. So we have the Greer Lightspeed, the Greer Tomahawk. We've been talking about those. Let's hit those real quick. You start playing, I'll turn on Lightspeed, hit the Gross on, turn both on, Tomahawk, hit the Gross on, just to get a flavor for that with whatever setting we have it on.
It definitely sounds like a distortion. I mean, it is huge.
Yeah. And then I think the last thing we've been talking about with all of these pedals is the fact that they react really, really well to a volume knob. So is the Gross any different? So
hit him with a clean tone.
see if I can get it this time.
Right.
I'm messing it up on the first try. So yeah, it reacts great with the volume knob as well.
Mm-hmm.
So we could go through every single permutation.
Get some coffee.
But we're not. No, I'm super impressed. I really like it.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a real versatile box. I think if you're somebody that likes to kind of like tweak and play around and find out how many different sounds and different things you can get, I mean, this is endless.
Yeah, it's almost like a songwriting generator. Like you dial up one of these tones and see where it takes you, and you come up with hooks or feels, chord voicings.
Good stuff. But if you're not familiar with Joe Gore, I mean, he's definitely got to check out. He's done some really interesting things in the music industry and has some other great pedals as well. So, Vintage Kings. Vintage King Audio. I'll try and put a link to their website in the description. This is where I was able to pick this up. They carry all of Joe's. He's the thing. They carry all his pedals. So.
Okay.
And we're kind enough to give us a little bit of a discount on it so we could get in for the series. I think it's worth saying.
Yes.
So with that, unless you have something to add.
I don't. Now let's push that. Can I push the wheel again?
We'll put a link to the wheel, the letter generator too, in case you buy it. So yeah, we always like take a minute, just thank everybody that's watching, hitting the notification bell, clicking the like button, leaving comments down below. We really appreciate everybody that supports the channel in that way because it helps us keep doing this and bringing you cool gear like this, and that's a lot of fun. So with that,
I'm PJ on behalf of the Beard, reminding you, no matter what you hear, you never have too much gear.
this episode was brought to you by the letter.
Bro, I was going to say the same thing. I'm not kidding you. By the letter C.
And the number 10.
Thank you.